That's all. To start with, I'm here with watercolors and to help you figure them out in very basic techniques. This lockdown has made all of us reach to a point where we are basically trying out everything we can. So if you have discovered this new hobby of painting, I'm here to help you out. Whatever is stopping you from reaching out to your colors, I'll make sure I help you overcome them bit by bit. So stay tuned. So we require cartridge sheet, few brushes, watercolor cakes, then some water and a rag. Further, we will spread the water on one top corner and then we will select one color and dilute it first. Like here I took red and with water I diluted it a little. And then starting from one corner from the left side where we had already applied some water, we would spread the paint towards the right side. Make sure the water is neither too much and not too little for the color to spread properly. We will dip the brush back in water and clean it with a rag. So further moving ahead, we'll majorly use warm colors, and this time I did not spread the water in the initial stage. Rather, I diluted the color first and applied it on one side and then rinsed the brush and then spread the color with the clean brush, which will further create a gradient of the same color. Similarly, moving ahead with another color, here I just apply color to the left side and further tilting the sheet, I just make the brush float in the downward direction. If you feel that the brush has a lot of color, then you can rinse it in water and further create a gradient with water. Here you have to make sure that the water is not too much in your brush, else the color gradient will not be formed. Even if you apply more color to it or more water to it, it will be of no help. So basically the proportion of your water and your color should be good enough. And the sense of a good proportion only comes with practicing. So further you can practice a lot of thumbnails with different colors and doing it in the same way. From one side you can apply the color and then with water you can spread it to the other side. Make sure before you apply the color you dilute it on your palette, because the color might become too intense if you directly apply it and the gradient may not appear. So moving ahead, now we will mix two colors at a time. First I took red on the left side. For the other side I use orange. And further we proceed in the same way as we did with red. We just touch the tip of the brush to the water and mix both the colors. Similarly, now we'll do it with blue and red. In the same way, we apply blue towards one side and red towards the other and mix both the colors. Similarly, you can make many thumbnails by mixing of two colors, where both the colors don't mix into each other to form a new color, rather just form a gradient of both the colors. Similarly, now I do it with the green shade, with green on the left side and yellow on the right one. less than a drop of water, we just mix both the colors so that they don't seem to be separate. Now for the next thumbnail, I make an L-type structure with my paintbrush. Then I clean off the brush, and then with water I just spread the color evenly to the other side too. Here we are creating a lighter effect of the color, where we have just applied the color in very small area, where I just formed an L structure and then spread the color with water to the other side. Similarly, here we form an L structure and then spread it with water. This is generally done in places where we want a very lighter version of the same color. Two basic techniques of watercolor, one is wet on wet and the second one is wet on dry. So first, in wet on wet, like now I have applied green color to the left side. On the right side there is some water spread. So there we will apply another color, like here I have done yellow, and this concept is wet on wet, as the base area was already wet with some water, and further we apply some paint over it. So now the initially painted thumbnails have dried up and it gets way lighter when dried. Hence, to build up some color intensity, we layer more paint on top of it. Just make sure that the layer below is completely dried. So now you will see that the first three thumbnails, which are of the red family, I have added another layer of paint to them and their color intensity has increased. Further, moving on to the concept of wet on dry, here we see that most of the thumbnails have dried up. So on any one of the thumbnail, I just try to paint a tree. So this concept is that the base area is dry and we apply some wet paint to it. So this is wet on dry. Now further, we will add more than two colors to one single gradient. Starting with red, I initially added red on the top and with water I have spread it downwards. Then I take the lighter shade of red and apply it just below my previous stroke. Make sure that the sheet is not too wet and the area you're painting is not too wet. Don't apply a lot of water. Then just below where you applied the lighter shade of red, go with orange, and then with deep yellow and lemon yellow. And there you see a gradient of the red tones. Similarly, we can go about with the green tones too, starting from the darker green to lighter and then adding some yellows to it. Wherever you feel that the color intensity is too less, you can reapply the color, and then with a drop of water you can just mix it up. Now you can see that the previously made red tones have dried up, so they turned lighter. So I've just increased the color intensity, so I have reapplied the color in the same way. Now in the similar manner, with one stroke of red, then dip the brush in water and move forward with the same way to spread the color. Wherever you feel that the color is too much or too intense, then dip the brush again in water and clean those areas with water. And now in this case, from the bottom I have added some blue to make a gradient. And now for the next one, I have applied water on the sheet first and then spread color over it to give it a sky pattern, in which the top area is the dark one and the below area is the lighter one. And just beneath the area where the color intensity is high, I have added yellow and then I have added orange. Now to mix all of these, I have used water. Just remember, not too much, not too little. The proportion of water and the paint is the main key of watercoloring. Now I've just repainted and added a little color intensity to the previous one. Similarly, you can do it with the other one also. Here you will slightly notice that we have formed a new color, which is a tinge of green between the blue part and the yellow part. Further moving ahead with making one of the same kind. If you are new to watercolors, you should practice a lot of thumbnails. Initially, you should go with single color for a lot many and then 2 colors. Then you can move ahead to 3 colors and 4 colors. And slowly you will master your skill. Here we are just increasing the light intensity by painting it again. In case your sheet is already wearing off because of too much water, then please don't repaint it as it might tear off. So for the next one, we'll make a mirror image type thing. The top area is same as the bottom area. As here we go with red from top to bottom, and similarly we'll go with red from bottom to top. Wherever you feel that the color intensity is too much than required, just dip your brush in water and then proceed. Similarly, add the other colors in the same manner. Like if you add orange from the top, then similarly from the bottom as well, and so on. So in areas where you wanted to add color but you did not, you can add it afterwards also with some water. Then with the concept of wet on dry, you can make anything you like on these thumbnails, making them look like sceneries. Like here I've added some trees and some hills. Make sure when you do the wet on dry concept, the area must be dried properly, else whatever color you use will spread with the background, make it look very messy. The video and learned something from it too. Make sure that you hit the like button and comment down what you want to see next. You can also check my Instagram account at @theredsartsoul, and if you want me to recreate something from my feed, I'll do that too. Please subscribe and help me grow. Thank you for watching.